The cartridge we're going to be highlighting today is Winter Frolic. You can see we've got our guidebook out for us. We're going to be cutting out an angel for you today and showing you how to layer the different colors and shapes on the angel. So make sure you get your guidebook out when you're doing this. As you can see, we've got some prep work already done. We have our Cricut cartridge in our Cricut Expression machine. And for you experienced Cricut Expression users, this might be old news to you, but for those that don't have a ton of experience, you can see in the upper left-hand corner an example of what we're cutting. You can see the angel there. And then you have a grid to the right with all of the different layers you can cut out. You can see here in the bottom right-hand side the shadow. We've already gone ahead and cut out the shadow, as you can see here. Tony's done that, and there are corresponding buttons on the actual expression machine to each of these layers. You can see up in the top left-hand corner the layers. That's what we're going to actually be cutting and show you, but you can see those buttons correspond over here. On the Winter Frolic cartridge, you can see layer is highlighted because that's what we're going to be cutting. But Tony's got that already preloaded. And Tony, why don't you talk to us a little bit about the tip that you were showing me on how to conserve vinyl by lining things up when they're cutting.
Take a look at the layering. I've cut so far the cloud and the body or the coat to the angel right here. And these are going to layer over the top of the boy. His hair is going to come from this area of the cutout. So what I'm working on right now is the trumpet, and they're very small, but the trumpet, the halo, and then the wings. And one of the problems that you run into is if you cut all of this at one time, then you waste a lot of vinyl. And one of the tricks that I've learned is that if you take this, and if by chance it cuts these two pieces first.
The halo and the trumpet?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is what I've done here, and I'm not sure you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it there. The halo and the trumpet are already pre-cut.
Okay.
How did you get it to stop after it cut those?
So after it cut those two, I hit the stop button.
Okay.
Now it won't go back, and it has to start all the way back over on this.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do now is I measure, and I see it at 11 inches, and I take this piece off and I put the blue back on for the angel wings.
Okay.
And I fudge a little bit to make sure that I get it covered, and then I just slip it back into the machine and I load it, and then you can see that what it's doing is the needle isn't going to be on the vinyl at all, so I'm not wasting any vinyl by cutting this over. But I'm going to push my repeat last button, and it'll pull up all these pieces again. But when I cut it this time, it's going to skip over these because it's on the blank cutting pad, and then it'll cut the two wings because it'll come down to the blue.
So essentially it's going to try and cut the halo and the trumpet again, but since there's no vinyl there, we're not wasting that cut twice since we want to do the wings in a different color, is what you're saying.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, now that we've got all of our components cut out, Tony's gonna take the components and start to layer the picture together. So you can see he's got all of the different things that he has cut out lying on the table in front of him here. So here we go, and Tony's taking the first layer and putting it on the shadow. It looks like he's gonna try and figure out if that's right where the wing goes. Again, he's using a Cricut dental pick that we also sell on our website. We'll provide a link for that on this video. There you go, there's the wings, that's the first step. And when trying to figure out which layer goes next, Tony, do you basically just refer back to that guide in the booklet?
Yeah, that in the picture, I try to follow what the picture looks like, and most likely end up taking it off a couple times.
Okay. Now what about the eyes?
I'll pick those out after.
Okay. So you can pick small details out once it's already been placed on top of other layers.
Right, and I'm trying to see where they've positioned
Mm-hmm.
the arms of the the boy or the angel
Okay.
over.
So it's basically just kind of a very fine game of just figuring out what
Yeah.
looks closest to the picture to you, as well as what
Correct.
you think looks best.
And then gotta take this little coat.
Tony, how important would you say using a dental pick would be when layering?
Well, on small things like this, I couldn't do it without it. I can put it on here and I can position it and come real close, and then I can just pull out from underneath it and I have
Okay.
what I want.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, what happens if you make a mistake? Say you placed the T-shirt on there, and it wasn't placed in the position. Will you ruin the picture if you try and take
No.
that up again?
No, if you have a pick, you can just work at it. Like right now, I'm not real happy with where I have the wings. So I'm going to try and get under this again, but I'm going to get under the boy and the coat. And, sorry,
Oh, you're fine.
he's pretty tiny. And I'm going to just back it off as much as I can. The only thing you have to be careful of is that the vinyl wants to stretch. So I've got to just hold it out of the way and
So just be very ginger with
Yeah.
the...
yeah, and then see, get underneath that, and I just move it back and forth, trying to loosen it up.
Okay. Is there any tricks to using the dental pick so that the vinyl doesn't tear? Just being...
Yeah, just being
Careful.
careful and
Yeah.
slow, I guess,
Okay.
which is kind of the problem right now. But see, I want that kind of to be hid. Whoops. Helps if you don't shake. Okay, that's where I wanted it. I think that's more like what it should look like.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, great, Tony. Thank you very much. I think that shows
Yep.
us the basics. Any other tips or tricks that you think that would be important to mention for the crafters out there?
Just anytime I'm using bigger pieces of vinyl, I of course use transfer tape
Okay.
because it's too hard to handle. But when you're using little tiny pieces like this, it just helps to use the dental pick and position them where you need them to make things fit.
Great. Okay,
Thanks.
here's the finished product from the project Tony's been working on. You can see a really neat nativity scene made out of vinyl. We hung it up right in the entryway to get people that come to our office into the festive and seasonal spirit. You can see the shepherds. We have one black sheep in there. The stars, the North Star, we've done all of that out of our glitter vinyl. He put some accents on it with some yellow vinyl. Most importantly, there's the angel that we worked on together. So, a neat scene using one of our more popular Cricut cartridges, Winter Frolic.